Hello. Oh, my hair is a mess. How are you today? Today we are talking about my most favorite magazine in the whole wide world. Romantic Times Book Review Magazine, where we talk about all the books in this magazine. If you're looking for a mystery or regency or paranormal or inspirational or contemporary romance or a sci-fi or a harlequin, we're here to talk about them. Probably not as many books as normal. Probably do 60 possibly. We'll try and put the time markers in the description. We'll see how good I am with that today. And welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina Carreras, Tina. This is where we read books and talk about books. No special effects, no D music, none of that fancy smancy stuff going on here. I spend my time reading books, so my thumbnails are inadequate, so I'm not getting the attention that I supposedly deserve. A lot of people say that I do good stuff, but my thumbnails are horrible, and that's why no one's seeing my channel. So who knows? So, shall we get started? Yes, ma'am. Can I help you? Uh, I think I caught I caught a catfish. You want a catfish? No. See we had a little present today. And if you haven't seen it, well, it'll probably be over by now. We'll see what happens. I did a little video this morning. Open or save till Christmas. Have to let me know. The video went out this morning, so we'll see what happens. So, anyways, let's get started here. I just love this magazine. I just do. So, let's see. Mary Balo. The proposal. Now, it would help if I somehow put these books in order before I sat down. But you know me, that would be too easy. The proposal. 4.5 stars. I try and stick with only 4.5 star books. Occasionally we do a 3. And I believe there are a couple of 3s in this week. Balo begins a new series with one of her most beloved characters, Lady Gwendolyn Muir, in the tender, heart-tugging story of a wounded soldier and an emotionally scarred woman who find unexpected love is a mature romance with unforgettable characters and a sweetness and depth of emotion that only Balo can create. Gwen developed a limp after a spill from a horse and lost beloved husband to a tragic accident. She needs peace and solace when she falls on the beach and is rescued by war hero Hugo M's Lord Trentham. She is caught off guard. Hugh is making his yearly visit to the Survivors Club, consisting of 6 men and 1 woman who have gone through the worst of war and are still healing from the effects. The gruff manner and soldier and the beauty from an unusual alliance as they build their relationship. The magic of love tears down barriers and makes them believe in second chances. Uh, let's see. This lady has a couple of names. I know she has a couple of names. It's the other one. Um, damn, there's nothing in here. Oh, Jane Ann Krantz. I knew it. And Amanda Quick are the same person. Crystal Gardens. 4.5 stars. Quick creates an extraordinarily paranormal world where readers will gladly suspend their disbelief to enter a magical realm and be swept away. She's a genius at seamlessly blending mystery and magic and romance in a gothic that would make Victoria Hall proud. And the creators of Little Shop of Horrors smile. After a frightening attack in London, Evelyn Ames rents a cottage in the country to regroup. Located near the mystical Crystal Gardens. One night, she flees a killer and runs into the gardens, encountering their handsome, mysterious owner, Lucas Sebastian. After her attacker is quickly dispatched, Lucas suggests they keep the incident secret until they can discover the motive. Rumors about a treasure buried in the gardens and Lucas's uncle's death abound. Due to her psychic powers, Evelyn knows the garden plants possess occult powers and are connected to Lucas's uncle. Lucas's understanding of the criminal mind and Evelyn's talents draw them in dangerous territory and a passion that surprises them. That's there's fun. Mary Jo Putney, another one of my authors. Um, no longer a gentleman. 4.5 stars. The incomparable Putney returns with a Lost Lords novel that touches readers' hearts. No ballrooms or marriage marts appear, but spies and danger, passion and adventure, and love and redemption keep readers glued to the pages and immersed in another unforgettable tale. Lord Wyndham's wild ways landed him in a French dungeon. For 10 years, his friends haven't given up hope of finding him. After losing everything in the Reign of Terror, Cassie Fox has devoted herself to Napoleon's downfall. For her, rescuing the lost lord is part of her job. She just didn't she just hadn't thought Gray would be so devastatingly handsome and falling in love. Oh, Kathy Maxwell, Lion's Bride. 4 stars. The first of the Chat and Curse series explores the power of love and second chance with deft prose and strong emotions. A consummate storyteller, Maxwell creates a living, breathing characters who fight for love, freedom, and independence. Lord Lyon is one of England's most eligible bachelors, but he is cursed. Any Chatton male who falls in love is doomed to die young, and he's determined to live a long life. But when it becomes clear he must wed, Lyon employs celebrated matchmaker Thea Martin to find his bride. Once Thea believed Lyon loved her, then he disappeared from her life. Now as a widow, she must make money to support her 2 young sons. Finding Lyon a bride will make her rich if she can find a woman he can't love. Okay. Yes, ma'am. What? I don't get it. Donna Fletcher, A Warrior's Promise. Ah, down there. I know my lighting is sometimes bad. That's better. Warrior's Promise. 4.5 stars. With fast-paced and tightly written plot, replete with honorable, sensuous characters, wide humor, and delightfully portrayed and deeply moving love story, this third offering in the Warrior King series will not be easily forgotten. Bryce McAlpin is attempting to unmask a spy in King Kenneth's court when he encounters a scrawny lad being chased by soldiers. Upon rescuing him, Bryce discovers he is attempting to free his father from prison. Soon, Bryce realizes the lad is really a young lady, Charlotte. During their journey to uncovering the secret prison, they developed a respect and admiration for one another, which is outpaced by their speedy sexual attraction. Okay. Cara Elliott. Too tempting to resist. Oh, yeah. 4 stars. Ellie provides readers with a treat to savor in this fun, sexy, delicious tale. Lady Eliza Brentford must prevent her errant brother from going through the family fortune, so she intrudes on his favorite gambling den, where she encounters his model, the rakish Marquise of Haddon. Griffin Dwight, but the charming master of seduction, is only one of Griff's personality. He is also a man intrigued by nature, and when he accepts Eliza's brother's invitation to a house party, it's more to explore the grounds than to delve into depravity. However, an intriguing, passionate kiss and finding Eliza handcuffed to a swing bar in his bed has Griffin thinking of wild nights. Interesting. Julianne McClain, Be My Prince. Let's see, right there in the middle. You think purple? 4 stars. Elliot provides readers with a treat to savor in this fun, sexy, delicious tale with smart, sassy characters, a charming plot, and an. Oh, that's the one I just read. Sorry. Alright. Be My Prince, Julian McClain, 4 stars. The premise of the first of the Royal Trilogy is as old as the genre, but McClain lifts readers' hearts with the clever twist in the switched identity plot, with enough originality to please her fans and earn her loyal readers. Lady Alexandra Monroe has been groomed her entire life to be the Prince Randolph of Petersburg bride. She just has to meet the prince. Though Randolph is handsome and charming, it is his dangerously roguish brother Nicholas who fascinates her. Suddenly, Alexandra is ready to throw caution to the wind and elope with Nicholas, but he has a shocking secret that will change everything, and Alexandra's own secret could cause political scandal. That sounds interesting. Um, Gabrielle Kim, the courtesan lover. Let's see. The courtesan lover. 4.5 stars. In the spin-off of his last Duchess, Kim reintroduces Francesca as she reinvents herself as the successful courtesan. Kim's meticulous details not only evoke the era, but gifts readers with a touching, fascinating, and uplifting tale with a carefully developed plot and unforgettable characters. Sensual and yet more intimate than sexy, realistic with a sense of humor, truly sensitive and heart-tugging. This is a novel that speaks on many levels. Francesca and her twin daughters arrive in Naples intent upon starting a new life. With the help of her loyal servants and friend Modesto, Francesca sets herself up as a courtesan and quickly attracts protectors. She is aware of the inherent dangers of her profession but manages to stay alive by choosing her callers with care. Her one moment of regret comes when a chance encounter with a young client who makes her realize that she is missing love in her life. Francesca continues her quest for good life, but when she falls in love, she must develop the strength to face the consequences of her past. See what happens there. Turn that down. Our last Regency, Genevieve Brand. Let's see. It would be nice if I put these in order, but you know me. Soul Sound of the Heart. 4 stars. Graham's readers will be overjoyed as she delivers well another crafted, historical, accurate novel that is as much historical fiction as sizzling romance. Highland warrior Dougal MacDonald's ability to hear men's thoughts cannot save him from losing everything he loves at the Battle of Culloden. Do we know another person who goes to the Battle of Culloden? I don't know. Maybe James Fraser? He escapes British imprisonment with the help of a lad, Aidan. They make their way across the country, finding safety in an abandoned croft. Dougal is shocked when he discovers that Aidan is really a girl, Glenna. Their friendship quickly turns to love, but they are cruelly separated when Glenna is caught poaching the king's deer. Dougal is imprisoned and Glenna is sent to the colonies. While she is indentured to her family as their children's teacher and later to the owner of a bawdy house, Dougal is forced into service into the British Army Scottish Regiment and sent to America where they find love. Aw. She is always going off. Okay, now on to Inspirational. Submerged. Danny Petrie. 4.5 stars. Petrie's debut, this first in the Alaskan Courage series, combines all of the perfect elements for romantic suspense with meaningful spiritual message. The Alaskan setting is magnificently described. Bailey is a sympathetic, flawed character that readers will identify with, and her relationship with Cole is true to life. Bailey Craig left the small town of Yancey, Alaska, and the terrible reputation she had created for herself many years ago, never planning to return. Yet when her beloved aunt is killed in a plane crash, Bailey must face her fears and ensure that their aunt's affairs are handled. Cole McKenna is one of the divers tasked with the retrieval of victims of the crash. He has never forgotten Bailey and is once again caught up with the chemistry between them. Oh, you will not get my string. No. No. So, there she is. There she is, Miss America. Put you down. I am so not good at this. I am so not good at this. A Perfect Square. Vanetta Chapman. Figures. It's at the bottom of the pile. The Perfect Square. 4.5 stars. Chapman's amateur sleuths are back in the latest Shipshawana. Amish mystery will keep you engaged in guessing. Friendship, forgiveness, and mercy and grace are the key themes in this page turner. When Esther Zook finds a dead body floating in Reuben Fisher's pond, their small town is turned upside down. Reuben is arrested and refusing to speak upon his own defense. Esther's friends, Deborah and English Callie, are determined to prove Reuben's innocence. Things get more interesting when Ira Bontegreger goes to Callie and asks her to find his daughter who's been missing since 1965. Is there a connection between the missing girl and the body in the pond? So find out. Yes, ma'am. Ah, that's a good one. Morgan, Kathleen Morgan, A Forbidden Love. I do not think we'll just. Oh, because the devil's right in front of me. A Forbidden. Hey! Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm here. How did I skip it? Four stars. This is a wonderful love story set in the wilds of the Colorado Rockies. The character's faith is tested by the harsh realities of life is the untamed frontier. In her second Heart of the Rockies book, Morgan explores themes of mercy and fidelity to one's beliefs despite what others think. Shiloh Wainwright accepts a teaching job at the White River Indian Reservation without thinking it through, and she is soon caught in the crossfire between the UT Indians and the impossible demands of the government. She has a chance of encounter with a childhood friend, Jesse Blackwater, who is bitter about being a half-breed. Jesse does not believe he belongs in either world and is feeling lost and alone. When their feelings complicate matters even further, they must decide what they want to do before a full-scale uprising wipes out their dreams and future. The books you find. Um, The Road to Grace. Yes, ma'am. See if I can do this. There she is. Smokey. What are you doing, Miss Smokey? She's making love to the books is what she's doing. Smokey. No. No. Uh, sorry. Um, Richard Evans, The Road to Grace. It should be here. Uh, Road to Grace. Do it like this. There we go. 4 stars. Evans continues the series, The Walk, with the other compelling installment. Alan it is halfway through his extraordinary journey, but it is the readers who recap the most benefit from the remarkable characters he meets and the experiences he has along the way. Alan Christopherson lost his wife and his business and his home and is working from Seattle to Key West. At this point, he's headed from South Dakota to St. Louis. His trip is enriched by many people, including a woman who follows along nearly 100 miles, a ghost hunter looking for in graveyard for his wife, and an elderly polished man who shares a story that Alan will never forget. Interesting. The Fiddler. Why didn't they do these in order? The Fiddler. 4.5 stars, Beverly Lewis. Lewis begins the Home to Hickory Hollow series with the sweet, engaging romance. As always, the author brings peace and simplicity of the Amish world to vivid life. According to his family and his bishop, Michael Hosteller has one foot in the English world and one in the Amish community. Professional violinist Amelia DeVries is a second life as country fiddler Amy Lee. She loves music but not the rigors of touring. When Michael and Amelia cross paths, they realize they are both harboring secret desires for their lives, and both feel their paths are directed by others. It is impossible for them to follow their own hopes and dreams. We'll see. We'll see. The Pursuit of Lucy Banning. Olivia Newport. 4 stars. In a new historical series, Avenue of Dreams, readers head to Chicago World's Fair of 1893, where they will be treated to the grandeur and charm of the wealthy and the not so wealthy in this story thick with secrets and lies. Lucy Banning has lived a privileged, pampered life. However, she feels she has something to give to others and volunteers at a local orphanage despite her parents' outrage. She is also secretly taking classes at the newly opened University of Chicago. Her parents expect her to marry a banker, but Lucy is concerned her prospective groom will make her give up her classes and charity work. When she meets an unconventional architect who is working on plans for the World's Fair, she knows where her future lies. So, yes, ma'am, we are on to mainstream fiction. And I thought The Field of Poppies, Sharon Stala. There we go. We can do this. 4.5 stars. Readers are going to be glad Sallow self-published this gem of a story, and publishers are going to kick themselves for not picking up on it. Solo fans won't be surprised by the delicately crafted sentences that create heart-pounding emotion, but Sallow just may have outdone herself with the story of two families who find their worlds intertwining at the worst moments of their lives. Within minutes, Poppy Sadler's life is remodeled, following a telephone call from the hospital telling her that her mother's battle with cancer is over. Two detectives knock on her door to tell her that her father was murdered. It is nearly more than she can comprehend. Justin Caulfield's fortune can't buy him the one thing he needs, something to save his beloved daughter from the disease that is killing her. As the police look for a murderer and Poppy tries to gather the threads of her unraveling world, her life and Justin's come together when a decades-old secret is revealed. Interesting. Wiley, a land more than hope. Wiley. A land more kind than home. Wiley Cash, 4.5 stars. Cash debut's novel is mysterious and indirectly creepy, which will have a powerful effect on readers. Told from the point of view of three main characters, 9-year-old Jess Hall, Adelaide Lyle, the town's midwife, and Sheriff Clem Bearfield. We see the novel's events play out from the perspective of citizens completely different from one another. Riveting, disturbing, and lyrical, this novel is full of surprises. In the small town of Marshall, North Carolina, a new church pastor arrives to change the lives of a family forever, though not for the best. When Jesse Hall and his mute older brother Christopher see something they aren't supposed to see, Pastor Chambliss takes it upon himself to cure Stump of his silence indefinitely. See what happens there. Beth Kendrick. The Lucky Dog Matchmaking Service. 4.5 stars. If the title does not grab your attention, Kendrick's writing will. Her latest is an engaging, thoroughly enjoyable tale of finding soulmates of the four-legged and two-legged variety. Lara Magden has a special gift for matching people with perfect dogs. When her boyfriend ends their relationship, Lara moves in with her obsessive mother, Justine, who owns a network of beauty salons and spas and expects everything in her life to be perfect all the time, including her daughter and the dogs. Justine's uber-rich neighbors hear about Laura and want to hire her to help with their dogs. Will Laura survive her mother's helpful ideas and the neighbors' outlandish demands? We'll see. We'll see. Catherine McKinney. Let's see. Catherine McKenzie, Arranged. 4.5 stars. Anyone who's ever looked for love in all the wrong places will love Mackenzie's latest tale of romance found in the place one least expects it. Professionally, Anne Blythe has it all. She has a great job writing for a magazine and a book deal in the making. However, her love life isn't running as smoothly as her professional life. Fresh from a messy breakup with her last boyfriend, Annie runs into a couple of her past ones. After this veritable parade of boyfriends past, Annie wonders if she is the one with the problem. When she finds a business card on the street for a dating service called Blythe and Company, she figures she doesn't have anything to lose and decides to give it a shot. She quickly finds out they are not a dating service. They are an arranged marriage service. After contemplation, Annie decides to use the exclusive company service and hilarity ensues. Okay. Um, Robbie, the Reverend's what? See. Again, it's on the bottom. She was mentioned in my Black Authors. If you haven't seen my Black Authors, then please go check that out. 4 stars. There's nothing like a healthy dose of drama to keep readers on their toes. Underneath the deception, gossip, and bad decisions lies a storyline that any reader will be able to relate to. The author paints an interesting story with an accurate view of what goes on within the family behind the pulpit. Reverend Curtis Black and his wife Charlotte have had their share of indiscretions, but the revenge has finally decided to leave her for good. Preparing to become a divorced man for the third time, the Reverend splits his time between fulfilling the needs of his 2,000 member church and being a good father to his children. However, Charlotte will not go away quietly and is determined to keep her marriage intact. I'm pretty sure we did this one for the Black authors too. I'm almost positive we've done that book before. Um, because she's a famous author, and she's still writing books today. So she had a dud. But anyway, 3 stars. Fern Michaels. Deadline. The Godmothers return for another outing as Michaels continues her series about 4 Southern friends intent on surviving middle age with plenty of gusto and lots of cigarette smoking. Unfortunately for readers, the author tells rather than shows the action, and much of that is repetitive. As Tessa Toots Loudenberry and her daughter, 3 godmothers, return to California, they are thrust into conflict after learning that Toots' stepson was the last person to see a missing actress. Finding Chris takes top priority as Toots brings in a private detective. Abby, who still doesn't know her mother owns the tabloid she operates, sorts out her feelings for Chris. Meanwhile, Sophie's psychic abilities grow to include visions. See what happens there. Uh, how's it going there, Missy? And we'll move on. How many stars did they get? 3. Okay, we'll do one bonus one before we move on. It only got 3 stars, but we'll do it anyway. Heather Barberi. Barberi has the bones of a good story, but in the ending, everything is left incomplete and the storyline feels unfinished. Oh, that's why I didn't choose it for this year. Ah. Oh, here's another one. The Good Father. Interesting book cover. Looks like it's going to be a dud, too. Best-selling novelist Chamberlain returns with yet another heart-wrenching story about lost loves and the risk people take to save those they deeply care about. The characters are told from the points of view of Travis, Erin, and Robin, revealing new secrets about the history of each character leading up to the climax, during which Travis loses control of a dangerous business deal. Okay. All right. So now let's move on to teen after that happy, not happy note. One of my authors, I have a few of her books. Faded. 4.5 stars. Noelle has done it again with fantastic characters and amazing plot. This book will suck you in and leave you breathless. Fans of her Immortal series, as well as Rachel Vincent's Soul Screamers, will fall in love with the Soul Seekers. Noelle is a master with words, and readers will realize anything is possible in her world. Does fate exist? Dare has never had a typical life, and animals follow her, and strange people appear everywhere. But the worst is her visions. When she is sent to her grandmother, she learns that she is the soul seeker. She can travel between the real world and the world of the dead. This makes things complicated, especially when Dare realizes that the mysterious boy from her dreams, Dace, is real. To make matters worse, she cannot figure out if he is allied with the enemy or not. What is a girl to do? Don't know. Animal spirit guides: raven, coyote, horse, wolf, and eagle. And you know what? Mercy Thompson is a coyote. We'll see what happens there. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, we did that. Okay. Alright. Ghost flower. I don't know how well that comes out. There you go. Ghost flower. Four and a half stars. Readers may remember Jaffa's most excellent adult novels, both historical and mystery, and her latest young adult offering is just as awesome. The author weaves luxurious, mysterious, riching teens that will make any old school Christopher Pike fan giddy with glee. We have one of his books in the shop the other day, too. Eve is a down on her luck runaway when she meets siblings Bane and Bridget. They have an alluring proposition. They want Eve to impersonate their missing cousin Aura, whom Eve looks like, long enough to get Aura's inheritance. Then they'll split the money. Eve thinks it sounds too good to be true, especially when she learns that Aura disappeared right after her best friend Lizzie's death. Hmm. My hair is driving me crazy. God, it's bad today. Really bad. Um, see. Unraveling. Elizabeth Norris. Four and a half stars. Man, this one awesome book. In Norris's debut, she takes an oft used premise in young adult. Girl dies, then wakes up and turns into a rip roaring sci fi adventure. The plot twists and turns at the end of almost every chapter. Janelle is great heroine, tough but relatable. Walking home from the beach, Janelle is picked up by a hit by a pickup truck and dies. She knows it only she wakes up in the hospital with the memory of loner Ben Michael healing him. Trying to get to the bottom of things, Janelle snoops in her dad's FBI files to find that the driver of the truck, a type of car no one's ever heard of, died of terrible radiation burns. Then there's a bomb that no one knows how to defuse. Okay. Interesting there. And let's Fair coin, E.C. Myers. Right there. Um, 4 stars. Magic and science collide in this retelling of the classic fable of misguided wishes never having exactly the outcome you intended. Ephraim and Nathan are best friends. Ephraim is madly in love with the hot but geeky Jenna, and Nathan would be happy to date either of Jenna's best friend twins, Mary and Shelley. But even Nathan doesn't know that Ephraim's mom is an alcoholic who attempted suicide while Ephraim was at school, because she believed he was dead. Now Ephraim is left with a mystery. Who was his doppelganger, and what's with the strange-looking quarter in his stuff? When an odd note in his locker tells Ephraim to flip the coin and make a wish, he does, and everything changes. Suddenly he has the perfect mother. He can't figure out how Skimpy Nathan beat up the school bully when 5 minutes before he was getting stuffed in a locker. And then there is the problem of getting Jenna to notice him and the mystery of this bizarre coin. Interesting. And this thief's convent. Only 3 stars. What this debut What this debut fantasy novel lacks in world building is most certainly makes up an adventure. In a world sharply divided between the aristocrat and the working class, moving up is nearly impossible, while moving down is distinct possibility. Each house worships a god, a patron god of the pact, a good believed to be control the fortunes of that house. In this world, a young Widershin, a talent thief and soul worshipping of Oglin, must make her way with nothing but a sharp blade and a sharper wit. Okay. On to mystery and suspense. Lynn Shepherd, The Solitary House. Oh, 4.5 stars. On the 200th anniversary of Charles Dickens' birth, it is appropriate that the award-winning author Shepard has produced a sterling Dickinson novel. This is a literary mystery with other intrusion, tense shift, multiple points of view, and detailed descriptions. It's like falling into a wonderful time machine. In 1850, London Charles Maddox had belonged to the Metropolitan Police, but his inability to be a quiet subordinate in the face of mistakes left him out of the force. Now he is barely earning a living, working privately, tracking down criminals, and trying to solve unsolvable mysteries. When he is hired by a powerful and feared attorney, Edward Tolkien, to find who is sending threatening letters to Sir Julius Ceronium, an even more powerful financier. The money is tempting, even though he realizes there is much more to the offer than meets the eye. He teams up with his great uncle Maddox, famous as a thief-taker, who earned the respect Charles never has. Driven by his trust, Charles will not give up the chase, no matter what the personal consequences. Interesting. Okay. So much for the coughing fit. Um, A Deeper Darkness. J.T. Ellison. Hmm. 4.5 stars. Ellison latest focus on a medical examiner, Samantha Owens, and readers will quickly realize they don't miss Taylor Jackson at all. A gut-wrenching tale that rings with emotional renaissance and a heart amidst the thrills. A Deeper Darkness ranks as Ellison's best book yet. Samantha Owens receives a phone call from the mother of her ex-boyfriend, Eddie Donovan. It appears that he was the victim of a carjacking, but his mom has her doubts, so Samantha flies to Washington, D.C. to run a second forensic examination of Eddie's body. His distrustful widow and detective attracted to Samantha add to the intrigue. Can she overcome the demons? Harbor Nocturne. Joseph Wamberg. Read. Oh, shoot. That's what I missed. Readers always get the kind of weird, gritty, and occasionally whimsical tales that only Wamberg can tell when they sit down with one of his novels. Harbor Nocturne exhibits the pitch-perfect humor and underlying detail transport readers into the center of San Pedro's longshoreman district to such a point that they will surely smell the water. In one of the world's busiest harbors, lovers Dinko Babbage and Lita Medina bounce between the club life and the docks. dealing with an array of cops and criminals in between. While the cops are trying to get a handle on the criminal mastermind with an amputation fetish, life unfolds in the Hollywood station, dragging surfer cops Flotsam and Jetsam, wannabe actor Hollywood Nate, and cop Brittany Small into the sphere of other members of the Watch, as well as unfolding the realities behind the lives of the residents of San Pedro Harbor. Interesting. Just a second here. Oh, I wish I could fix the lighting on this computer. Ah, my little pal over there. Um, uh, Katrina McPherson. Dandy Gilver. And an unsuitable day for murder. Interesting. um, shoot. Uh, 4 stars. An historical cozy, the Dandy Gilver series set in the 20s in Scotland. This more Jeeves and Wooster than Maisie Dobbs. The post-war settling peopled with eccentric characters and a plot filled with clues and convulsions. Rather than the problems of the time, it is a delicious box of chocolates that will provide a delightful read. It can be a little slow, but the relaxed pace is part of the charm. Aristocratic amateur Dandy Gliver is hired to find a department store heiress. It is a puzzling case as the family gives entirely different pictures of where she might be and how much the danger girl is in. She was engaged to a young man from a competing department store family, and no one seems to have favored the marriage, but all is not what it seems, even to those involved. There are family secrets, lies to be uncovered, people mysteriously murdered, and a spunky heroine who will not give up until she discovers the truth. Interesting. Having worked in retail, it's interesting. My nose needs to stop running. Okay. So where was I? If you have not watched any of my videos on the Victoria Thompson series, we did all of them. I did all of them. I love Sarah Brandt and Frank Malloy. Uh, Sarah Brandt is a midwife. Her husband has deceased, and he was murdered. And that will be a topic of the books as they go along. And she's earning a living delivering babies. And she is gaining medical knowledge as she delivers the babies. She worked with her husband for a few years, so she got some knowledge from him too. And this takes place in the late 1890s. And in one of the cases, she meets Frank Malloy, a cop, to investigate a murder, and they develop a friendship. And Miss Ellsworth, the neighbor, is there. I did all the books, and I did an extra special episode devoted to Miss Ellsworth and all her superstitious sayings. She's a wonderful old lady. I just love her to death. If you haven't done those, please go back and do those. Also do last year's JD Rub. I did all of Eve Dallas too. So, Murder on Fifth Avenue. 4 stars. This solid series continues to explore serious themes while transporting the audience to a 19th century New York City where powerful men dominate. This is a world where women have little control over the lives of their sexuality, and Thompson neatly incorporates a number of timely issues into her well-constructed plot. Always the setting is vividly rendered, the plot is spot on, and even well-practiced readers will have trouble spotting the villain here. When a member of the exclusive Knickerbocker Club is found dead by a servant, Metropolitan Police Detective Frank Malloy is surprised to be summoned by Felix Decker. Felix Decker is Sarah Brandt's father. They were estranged for years, but they are slowly working back to their relationship with her parents. Um, it's soon clear to Frank that the victim was murdered and that no one in his family is sorry to see him dead. With the help of Sarah and her mother, Malloy has to sort through a wide list of suspects with personal grudges against the victim, a task that becomes more complicated when a second murder is committed practically under Malloy's nose. See what happens there. I love those stories. I just love those stories. Another one of my books. Just saw this. Silenced. Allison Brennan. 4.5 stars. The evolution of Lucy Kincaid from former victim to instinctive and talented agent comes in Brennan's newly heart-stopping thriller. Lucy Kincaid's Sean Rogan series provides not only edge-of-your-seat suspense, but also character development, as Lucy must face past demons and learn to trust her instincts. While waiting for her FBI Academy training class to begin, Lucy is assisted by her training agent Noah Armstrong in investigating the murder of a high-priced call girl linked to a powerful congressman. Even though Lucy is right about what she notices at crime scene, she is angered the agent in charge, so she is assigned to a different case. Lucy's instincts go on red alert when she realizes a new murder investigation of several young call girls and a social worker is tied back to the original case. See what happens there. And I think, no, Catherine Page, The Body in the Boudoir. Four stars. In the latest Faithchild reading, readers are transported back in time to events surrounding Faith's engagement and wedding to Reverend Thomas Fairchild. The main mystery is woven nicely through the entire novel as secondary mysteries unfold, adding suspense and layers of intrigue to keep readers guessing. On an anniversary flight to Tuscany, Faith takes time to reflect on and events and people surrounding her wedding to Tom in the 1990s. Faith owned a catering company called Have Faith. After meeting Tom at a catered event and getting engaged soon after, Faith's life changes dramatically in a short period of time. In all of the chaos of the wedding preparations, Faith has to deal with several mysteries, including a secretive new assistant, the murder of her uncle's housekeeper, and the deliberate sabotage of her sister's career. See what happens there. And Camilla Loxberg, The Stonecutter. Okay. Alright. 4 stars. Lockbird is hugely popular in her native Sweden and around the world, and for good reason. The twisty plot and well-drawn characters will stay with readers long after they close the covers. The remote Swedish town of Falak is no stranger to tragedy, but when a little girl is found tangled in a fishing net, it rattles everyone to the core, especially when it becomes clear that her death was no accident. It has to be investigated. Fatal Fleece, Sally Goldenblum. She was in my cozies. Never get that right. The lighting on this computer is horrible. I've never figured out how to fix it. It only got 3 stars. Set in Sea Harbor, Mass., this cozy mystery centers around Seaside Knitters and Izzy Perry, owner of the Seaside Knitting Studio. The atmosphere of the book is warm and friendly, and the characters are developed more deeply than in some cozies. It's a little hard to get into as there are many characters introduced and the viewpoints keep shifting. The atmosphere and details of needlework and the store are well used in this mystery. Okay, let's move on. Laura Griffin. Twisted. 4.5 stars. Griffin adds another gut-wrenching, twisting suspense novel to her Tracker series, and this one will send you after the other four if you haven't read them. Homicide detective Allison Doyle interrupts an armed robbery and nearly takes a bullet before she's rescued by top FBI profiler Mark Wolf. Not only does she feel incompetent, but what is Wolf doing in a small town, Texas? It is not even possibly a coincidence. Mark Wolf has been tracking a serial killer for 10 years. He's smart, cogently logical, and completely off the grid. Now Allison's department has a crime they are contributing to a stalker boyfriend that matches the killer's MO. It's not Allison's first case, but she has a gut feeling that Wolf may be onto something. Let's see what happens. Mysterious. The Beautiful Sacrifice. All in pink. Four and a half stars. Archaeology, cultism, and murder from the basis for Laurel's newest twisted tale of sensual romance and deadly suspense. As descendant of Mayan royalty, Dr. Lena Reyes Baum Taylor has devoted her life to studying ancient Mayan artifacts. Former ICE agent Hunter Johnson has been auditing several of Luna's adventures and making the first overtures towards a relationship. Then Hunter is contacted by his close friend, current ICE agent Jace Beaumont, who was blamed for the disappearance of some unique artifacts during a bust. Hunter's approaches Lena for her expertise, but things turn grave when Lena is nearly kidnapped and Jace badly wounded. See what happens there. Catherine Mann. Under Fire. Naked man on the cover. Naked man on cover always sells books. How many books have naked man on cover? Do you know how against the law it would be to have a naked girl on cover? Two-sided coin there, huh? 4.5 stars. The best-selling man's latest Elite Force installment is absolutely wonderful. A thrilling ride of ups and downs that will leave readers hanging on to the edge of their seats. Rachel Flores has been avoiding Liam McCabe for the last 6 months. She does not want to get involved with a man who has 3 failed marriages under his belt. Liam is fascinated and intrigued by Rachel, and when she turns to him to help her escape a killer, he will do everything in his power to make sure that she never walks away again. Old ghosts and new foes haunt this relationship, and they're trusting each other, and other Liam's team may be called to depend on. That might be a good one for uh, Joya Field. Beneath the Surface. Just a bunch of blue. Field writing is excellent. Each page generates enough heat to melt candles. Lush details, an invigorating mystery, and richly etched characters make this a keeper. It simply glows with delicious intrigue. Brooke Richards survived an earthquake that killed her parents and destroyed part of her leg. A getaway to Florida to be fitted with a state-of-the-art prosthesis and a visit with her best friend Linda is just what she needs to heal. Unfortunately, the excursion turns out lethal when Brooke witnesses Linda's boat exploding in a cloud of flames. Police officer Garrett Civetti thinks the explosion was deliberately set to cover something Linda stumbled across. When Brooke offers her expertise in underwater archaeology to aid in Garrett's investigation, the two join forces and the heat between the two gets hot. Laurie Claire, again with the naked body on the cover. I When I think of Laurie Claire, I think of ebooks and not electronic books. I think of the adult situation ebooks because that's what mainly she writes. Um, Run Wild, 4 stars. Eau Claire's latest novel will capture readers from the start with a tough as nails yet vulnerable heroine, a strong hero, and a fast-paced plot that is equal parts danger, mystery, passion, and romance. Tough, strong-willed Natasha King was raised by professional bounty hunters and knows the dangers of tracking fugitives. She's now on a mission to locate a murderer who just happens to be her long-lost father. She is paired off with sinfully handsome Sheriff Trent, who is leading the search, and she finds she is consistently on guard with her new partner. Her feelings for him are growing, and bit by bit, her heart is being revealed. All right. We move on to sci-fi. Bitter Blue, Christian Cashore. Ah, 4.5 stars. Bitter Blue is the third book in this Graceling universe, and it is just as magnificent as the first 2 volumes. 8 years after becoming queen, Bitter Blue is still struggling with the ramifications of her father's 35 years of rule. King Lek was a Graceling with the ability to alter people's minds, and consequently the kingdom of Monsieur has a lot of healing to do. Bitter Blue has decided to keep on her father's advisors, and they keep her busy with paperwork and promises to implement programs she feels are important, like schools. Frustrated, Bitter Blue begins seeking out of the castle at night. First to the story places where people share their common history, and then to shop frequented by thieves she's met during her nightly travels. Hmm. Um, King. I do not have this one. Just read it. I don't have a picture for this. Um, The Dagger and the Coin series continues in the second book. The remarkable characters from the first book, Marcus, Kit, Catherine, Dawson, and Cedar, are still as present and fascinating. Getter Palico is a remarkable and conflicting character who provide readers as they attempt to contrast the levels of naivety between his horrible actions. Okay. All right, let's move on to contemporary romance. Uh, no. If you've seen my Eve Dallas JD Robb videos, you know she has an alter ego. Nora Roberts, the last boyfriend. 4.5 stars. It's back to charming Boonesboro for the second chapter of Robert's trilogy featuring the Montgomery brothers. This novel is classic romance at its best as individuals who have known each other all their lives discover unexpected passion. And if you have not done so, if you are an Eve Dallas fan or a Nora Roberts fan, I just go online and check out the Innsboro Inn. It's her inn with a bookstore attached. And all the rooms are named after famous couples from her books. And I don't know what the other ones are, but I've heard from other people that they're famous characters in some of her trilogies. But one of the rooms is the Eve and Rourke room. And there's pictures of all of them. So you gotta check it out. It's cool. And if you want to order some of Nora's books, you can do that from that website too. And get them signed. Sometimes you can get them signed. But if you go there and she happens to be there, you can always get them signed. But I know they do carry some signed copies on hand, but I don't know which ones. I have no idea. Um, As the opening of her new inn approaches, the Montgomery brothers, Beck, Owen, and Ryder, and their mother, Justine, are running at full tilt. The holidays are already brighter now that Beck and Claire Brewster are planning their wedding. Avery McIntosh and Hope Beaumont are pitching in to help on both projects. For Hope will run in the inn, and Avery is anticipating increased business for her pizzeria. Avery and Owen have been buds forever, though he did give her a plastic engagement ring when she was 5. It takes one offhand kiss to ignite sparks and make them look at each other differently. See? Barefoot in the Sand, Roxanne St. Clair. 4.5 stars. St. Clair always brings a scorching tear up the sheets romance combined with a great story. Hurricane Damien took everything from Lacey Armstrong but her life and her daughter. In the aftermath, it left the opportunity for new beginnings and hopefully the courage to follow through on her dream of opening a resort. Clay Walker needs an architect project of his own to get out from under his father's thumb. Lacey and Clay start out all business as they plan her resort, but lust soon takes over, following by secrets, mistrust, and denial. See what happens there. Sunrise Point, Robin Carr. Carr is at book 19 in her Virgin River series, and the novels continue to deliver heartwarming and small town romance with well drawn characters. Nora Crane was abandoned by Virgin River by her drug addict boyfriend, the father of her 2 daughters. She's desperate to earn money and takes a chance on a good paying job picking apples that will require her to walk miles. She told no by gruff orchard owner Tom Cavanaugh, a former Marine who's home to take over his family business, but his grandmother convinces him to hire the young mother. Nora tries to ignore her feelings as Tom and kindness begin to heal her battered heart. Does romance ensue? We shall see. Oh, I think I missed one. Kingsbury, loving. In this final installment of the Bailey Flanagan series, Kingsbury meaningly and deftly handles all of the issues facing Bailey, Cody, and Brandon. It's tough to say goodbye to characters that feel like real friends and family. Bailey Flanagan is struggling with what God wants her future. What job does he want her to pursue? Where should she live? And to whom she should give her heart and love? Brandon wants her to stay in Los Angeles where he is getting ready to sign a multi-picture contract. But Bailey is feeling pulled to return to Indiana. Cody is looking for God's will in his future as well. Here and Bailey will finally resolve the relationship, or will there be something there to resume? We shall see. Yes. I think ah, this one didn't come through, so I don't think I have a picture for this one. I hope you have found something. Do that one. Kristen Higgins, Somebody to Love. Four stars. Higgins has another winner with this delightful romance. The protagonists are a pleasure, a heroine who gets advice from the imaginary character she has created, and a hero who must forgive himself for a childhood mistake that changed his family's life forever. While Parker Wells' son is on vacation with his father and new stepmother, she is coming to terms with the fact that her father has lost all his money, as well as her and her son's trust funds, and is now in prison. She still has a run-down house in Maine. As she gets it ready to sell, she unexpectedly gets help from her father's lawyer, James Cahill. Though Parker has little respect for James, she calls him Thing One and believes he is just his father's bootlegger. She finds there is a lot more to him. James has been in love with Parker for years and hopes that their time together will give him a chance to get better acquainted. We shall see. I didn't even see how many. Don't. I'm pretty sure. Nope. Nope. Yeah, we'll just skip that one. But there is one. Oh, okay. Um, we'll move on to my favorite subject. And I will be doing this series next year. Um, this other series I just finished. So these two books are huge, huge. Born of Silence. Look at this sucker. Look at this sucker. I'm getting some more of her books for Christmas. And I expected them to be like this. And when they came in the mail and they were microscopic, I was so pissed. But we'll talk about them. Okay. Born of Silence. Kenyon's latest League novel is an amazing, mesmerizing story, but also emotionally difficult and harsh. Yeah, you should read Asheron. I always tell people if you read Asheron, the first time you read Asheron, read the whole book. Now, If you're one of those people that loves heartache, loves to read about people being tortured and horrific things happening, then read the whole book all the time. But if you're like me and one time is enough, future rereads, just start with part 2. Much better, much lighter. Still some stuff, but part 1 of Asheron and Styx too are both horrific. Alright. Heir to the Carneus Empire, Darling Cruel's life should have been one of ease. However, his father's murder by his uncle has left Darling subject to the most vicious kind of physical and psychological abuse. To protect his mother, Darling claimed to be gay, which sadly added to his abuse. Only as the masked Centella warrior Kerr has Darling found love with resistance leader Zanara Straka. Zara has no idea of Kerr's true identity, so is in an awful twist of fate when Darling is captured by the resistance. She doesn't know him. Unknowns to Zara, Darling is horribly tortured and sexually abused by his jailers. Oh, yeah, I remember that. That's horrific. That's absolutely horrific. They make him drink his stuff, and oh, it's just horrific. Oh, it's just horrible. It's, oh, good grief. But Kenyon loves to torture her heroes, and he ends up marrying her too. But because she doesn't know who he is. It's just But Kenyon, a couple weeks ago, actually a couple months ago, she was talking about a future book, and I don't know what the title is. I don't know what it was, but she said she had over 2,000 lines of torture for the character. And she said, after thinking about it, maybe her readers wouldn't want that much, so she was going to trim it down. Like, oh, this one. It's coming to your TV screens next year. And if you have not seen all my reviews for these books, please check them out. I just went and did the whole series. I started with Darius. You can read Darius at the end, or you can read Darius at the beginning. If you've read this series before, go ahead, read Darius. If you haven't read this series before, start with Darius. Because then you won't, if you start with Dark Lover, then you know what happens in Darius. The entire thing, there's no spoilers. If you're new to the series, start with Darius. If you've read all the other books, well then go ahead and read Darius. But if you've read all the other books, you know what happens in Darius. Because it's all completely told in Dark Lover. But, so if you haven't read this series before, start with Darius. Go Darius, Dark Lover, and follow. I did all the reviews, my videos. Please read along with my videos if you want. But, like I said, there are no surprises in Darius. Because you've read Dark Lover and you've been with the series for 20 years, there's no surprises. But if you haven't read the series, then start with Darius. Then you'll be a little surprised. Lover Reborn, the 10th book in the Ward's best-selling Black Dagger Brotherhood series, focuses on torment. As in all of Ward's books, there are a number of storylines woven together. That's the one thing. You have to read the books in order to follow the character progression. So go at my videos, because we have to get to know John. We have to get to know Rage. We have to get to know Wrath. We have to get to know Mary. Poor Wellesley doesn't end well. We have to get to know all the characters, and the stories progress from book to book to book, even if they're not the main character. The other characters, the backup characters, their stories continue, and sometimes the backup characters get their own book, and then they go back to backup characters, but the characters progress from book to book to book. It's a really good series. If you haven't watched all my videos in these, go check them out. Since the murder of his beloved Wellesley, Tor has been self-destructive and suicidal. His inability to let Wellesley and her unborn son go has trapped them in the in-between, preventing them from going into the Fade. Heaven, according to the angel Laster, unless Tor gets them to go, they will shortly fade out of existence entirely. Meanwhile, there is a power play going on with Zokor and his band to take out King Wrath. John and his mate X are still struggling with the boundaries of their relationship, and Zex is coping with the miraculous return of her biological mother. So, check those out. If you haven't done my series, please go check that out. I think I know there's a picture in here. It drove me crazy because thought I had this book, and I don't, but I do also. I do. It's just I know there's a picture. I know there's a picture. I love this magazine. I can still read this magazine forever. It started in 2007 and it continued, well, actually it started in the 80s. But damn it, I know there's a half-page picture of this book in here. Um but I became familiar with it in 2007, and I really, really wish I had become familiar with it sooner. Oh, there's Dane's book. 112. Because it's just a fantastic. Where's that picture? I know it's here. I saw it. I know. I saw it. Is ah. So, just I have this author. She's over there. I have quite a few of her books. And when I saw this title, apparently I questioned it way back when. I don't know why I wrote these books, but this is what the book really looks like. On the Prowl, Christine Warren. And I like her books a lot. And when I saw the title, On the Prowl, I thought it was this one. I really thought it was this one. I went bonkers. It's like, how do I not have this book? But it's this one. Christine Warren. 4 stars. Warren's latest novel centers around the tiger family, a race of shape-shifting tigers. Readers will be immersed in a world of fantasy and supernatural filled with otherworldly beings in a constant conflict. Add to that a passionate romance mingled with aura of physical mystery. Saskia's SaskiaArcos has been promised to Nick Preda in an arranged marriage set up by their parents. They haven't seen each other in 20 years, but if Sakia is not opposed to the marriage, if it means being able to unite their families. Being dutiful, Nick agrees to the arrangement, realizing its importance, yet not expecting the feelings that arise when Sasha is revealed as his mate. See what happens there. Come back here, you. Okay. Now, Wicked Julian Stone, Wicked Road to Hell. And every single video she goes off. Every single video, regardless of the time of day. Ah. Can't believe she's Wicked Road to Hell, Julian Stone, 4 stars. Rising Star Stone takes a good thing and makes it even better with the expansion of her paranormal world. In Jaguar Warriors, Stone introduced the secondary characters with their own supernatural abilities, and now those characters have the basis of the League of Guardians series. Sorcerer Declan O'Hara has reduced from the torments of hell by annoying and mysterious Saffron calling himself Bill. In repayment, Declan is now part of a group of soldiers called the Saffron who follow Bill's orders. Declan has been ordered to Nola to locate an individual being protected by a mysterious vampire. Once he locates the pair, Declan is shocked to discover that the individual is a teenage boy and the protector is Anna Declox, the vampire who was killed several years ago. Okay, so not dead. On your best. Embrace the damned. Four stars. A tormented warrior and the woman who awakens his desire are at the center of Bass's latest novel. With vivid storytelling, she brings readers into the world of the Brotherhood of the Damned with its immortal warriors and blood-sucking demons. When Jasmine Hamilton is attacked by one night by a horrifying creature, Broda Calderzone comes to her rescue. Having committed a crime centuries earlier, Broda is condemned to an immortal life of battling against the blood-drinking creatures from hell. He is deeply drawn to Jasmine, and though confused, she can't help but feel the same towards him. Aww. And, the shifter, Jean Johnson. She's also one that when I think of her, I think of ebooks and not ebooks, but erotica books. The shifter, Jean Johnson, 4 stars. Johnson returns to her world of shifting plans with a story of a man on a mission that leads him to danger and love. Kenyon Simpson of Clan Cat is part of the hunt for renegade shifter Curus from family mongrel who have been robbing, raping, and killing. These shifters don't even take animal shape, but rather kill individuals and assume their identities. During his hunt, Kenyon stumbles across Trevor Wise, 10 of the Nesprit region, who is running from the Kurds who have already assumed the identity of a local townsman. To save Trevor when they are caught, Kenyon pretends to be a renegade and agrees to assume Trevor's identity to help Curus. Selin, recently betrothed to Trava, is a play to protect her from arrogant, aggressive Turnik. However, when Trava returns claiming memory issues from a fall, Selin senses something is different about him. See what happens there. Um, if you have not gone through, I did these books last year. If you have not met the Arginos, please go back and review all of my Argino videos and Marguerite and her matchmaking. I love them all. Under a Vampire Moon, 4 stars. Filled with laugh out loud moments as well as hot sexual encounters, this eagerly waited story of Christian's discovery of his life mate is a delightful romance with a smidgen of mystery. Still recovering from her marriage breakup, Carolyn Connor is vacationing with friends in St. Luca, where Marguerite Note discovers her and realizes that she's the mate for her son. Carolyn has no desire to start a relationship with any man, especially one she considers much younger than she is. Lo and behold, does she know he's about 200 or 300 years old? I love Marguerite. You've got to check out all my videos for those books. You have to. Alright. Another one. If you haven't seen, if you're like vampires, but you're willing to let it go, if you're willing to let it, all your beliefs go, and you love fashion, especially shoes, you gotta listen to the audiobooks and the narrator go, and the Louboutins and the Milanos. I don't know those shoes. I've never seen those shoes, but the narrator does a really good job of gushing over shoes and giving up sacrificing stuff for shoes. It's unbelievable. This is one of her other series though. Dragons. This is the 3rd book in McAllister's charming world of dragons, magic, and romance. It might be hard for newcomers to the series to understand the history of the characters and their motivations, but a glossary of demons, dragons, and places at the end of the book provides some help in figuring out who's who. Isolde is busy these days with her mate Baltic out on the outs with everyone from his former guard to his first dragon. Now the first dragon is ordering that she right her past wrongs. Isolde comes from a convoluted plan that could affect everyone, mortal and immortal alike. She better fix it. Walking in Fire. Catherine Cade. Another naked guy on the cover. In book 1 of the Hawaiian Hero series, Kate has taken the lush scenery of Hawaii and embellished it with a new twist on the legend of Pili. This fast-paced tale takes place in less than a week, with most of the action happening over a 2-day span. Okay. Um, never did write that down. Oh, yes, I did. Um, Another series that I will do next year, and I've talked about it previously in a couple of my different videos, especially the If Then Vampire videos. I've also done a whole one. I believe I did a whole one on this. If I haven't, I will do one. But I will do all the individual books next year. This was a TV series for a while there. There was tons of stuff related with it. It's a shame she cut it short. Um, Another author that cut it short, Kim Harrison, but she brought Rachel back. As much as we wish and hope and pray that Charlene brings Sookie back, she's not going to. So Deadlock, Vampire Politics, 4.5 stars. Vampire politics and nefarious plots run amok in this penultimate chapter of Sookie Stackhouse' long-running story. Everyone is on edge. Vampire King Felipe de Castro came to town to find out what happened to Victor. Eric, Pam, and Sookie certainly don't want Felipe to learn they killed Victor, so they are treading carefully. Sookie is not happy to arrive at a party at Eric's to find him drinking blood from a young woman. When that same woman turns up dead on Eric's lawn, they suspect a plot. Bill and Sookie start investigating, but the trail takes them into unexpected directions. Check that out. Let's see here. Intrigue. On to Harley Quinn. Let's see. Deborah Webb, Colby Lore. Uh, 4 stars. When a condemned serial killer reveals that his final secret and pleads with Colby agency to protect his children, the children everyone thought he murdered, from his evil wife, Agent Lyle McCabe has to face his own past to protect the woman he once loved. Sadie Gilmore has no idea about her past, and she's got enough trouble fending off her own problems, including people who want her off the land she's using to rescue shelter. The Colby agency doesn't stop until they get justice, but they can base their case on the semi-confession of a convicted killer. Webb takes romance, suspense, and the twisted motivations of a sick mind and molds them into a compelling story. Let's see who else is in here. Um, These other ones are here too. So those are the other ones. You can see them. Right? So the other ones are Helen K. Demon, when she wasn't looking. Sexy Depute Sheriff Jonas Porter is a lot more than an eyeful. When a woman on the run is hard to trust anyone, especially a guy with a badge. A long time ago, Courtney Allen's father was accused of murdering his family. She said she'd never trust a cop again, but when Jonas seems to believe in her father's innocence, she starts rethinking her stance. The other one is Obsession, 4.5 stars by Carol Erickson. Small town girl Gerard has always tried to stay out of the limelight. Ever since her mother ran away with her teenage lover, somewhere along the way she's picked up a stalker in Coral Cove. The girl next door has grown into a stunning beauty, and when the FBI agent Colin Rourke returns to his hometown to investigate the case, he's intrigued and concerned. Colin is sure someone has targeted the woman in Michelle's graduating class, and he's not about to let anyone get close to her. The Marine Next Door. 4 stars. Single mom and police officer Maggie Wheeler is aiming for Detective Shield when she's assigned to help with the Red Rose rapist case. At the same time, she's being stalked by her abusive ex-husband and dealing with her sudden attraction to her new neighbor. Returning Marine John Murdoch is ready to take his place in the Kansas City Fire Department, but his war injuries relegate him to the post of arson inspector. Running from his own demon, Murdoch witnesses Maggie's fear and volunteers to put himself between her and danger no matter the cost. Aww. Sarah Owing, Relentless Pursuit. 4.5 stars. Millionaire William Delaney will do anything to restore his 5-year-old niece to the bright child she was before her father died, and he's ready to pay teacher Ava Barton whatever she wants for the help. Ava is trying to start her own school for the special needs children, and William's monetary offer will go a long way to doing that. Besides, her heart breaks for the little girl when the solemn eyes and the sexy man who loves her. Aww. And Mather, Wild Surrender. Mather will wow readers with this family drama in paradise, featuring a romance that will steam your windows with its sensual intensity, characters that stay with you long after the end, and a narrative that brings the island paradise to life. Plus, there's a startling mystery. Rachel Claiborne has been sent to Saint Anne, a Caribbean island paradise, to find her mother who left without warning. Cindy Dees, Her Hero After Dark. Naked guy on the cover again. It's a popular theme. This video is going to take 25 hours to upload. In her final novel of Hot Watch series, Jennifer Blackfoot is sent to Isotopia to rescue Jeff Winston. The grandson of wealthy entrepreneur, Jennifer expects to find a spoiled jet-set rich boy. Instead, the man she rescues looks like Tarzan. Okay. Leah's Choice, Emma Miller. Four stars. Lee Yoder believes she has her life mapped out. Then she meets Daniel Brown, a Mennonite missionary who is in town to share his story. While a friendship is not forbidden, members of the old Amish Corps are concerned that Lee and Daniel are getting too close. Daniel understands her concerns, but he believes in God's plan for them is to get them together. And that, I think, all right, we'll end on how many stars did this shoot? That bad, huh? Wait a minute, let me look. Oh, there it is. All right, 4.5 stars. All right, look. I left the stupid cards in here. Okay. And then I wrote in it. I never should have wrote in it. There you go. Lauren Dane, Captive. 4.5 stars. The Phantom Corpse series continues with action, adventure, and hot sex. And there was also a menage a trois. There's an M&M and an M&M-F in here. Hannah Black has been held prisoner, tortured physically and mentally by the Imperial forces for nearly a year. She's rescued by Federation military officer Vincenzo Cuomo. She escapes her plight only to begin months of rehabilitation under the watchful eye of Vin and his lover Julian. Not only do the men prepare her mentally, but they strengthen her physically, and the three become lovers. Aww. Oh, no. I think adult reading. In the olden days, it was Eller's Cave and Sondheim. I know Sondheim still. I don't know if Eller's Cave still exists. Sharon Page writes some hot stuff, some really hot stuff. Book is black. I think one of these other books is red. They were black and something else. Scorching hot reads. Scorching hot reads. Scorching hot reads. Happily ever after. Romantic Times Book Review, May 2012. That was when I forgot to do Kate Angel. Loose ID. They still exist today, too. So, here we go. I love this magazine to death. Who's on the cover? Oh, Catherine Mann, Under Fire. That was one of the books we did. I forgot it was on the back. I should have wrote that. But anyways, if you could please hit the like and subscribe. Don't forget to check out my Star Trek Next Generation videos on Friday recaps. Also the If Then on Fridays. Those are really good. I got carried away with Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Got some stuff planned for January. It's going to be interesting. And if you haven't watched my previous ones, I did forensics. I did homicide. I did werewolves, witches, vampires. There's a special on Anne Rice. There's a special on Linda Lyle Miller. Um, Scotland Yard. No one has watched. I should go back and make a new thumb for that. Um, Detectives. A whole bunch of stuff. Go check out all those if thens and all the authors I've done. I've done over 1,000 videos. So, and no one is watching. So, if you could please hit the like and spread the word. Let people know I exist. That's all I need is people to know I exist. Have a good day. Thank you.